Lewandowski, 3 goals away from Raul's record. Benzema, 6 goals away from Raul's record. As a longtime Raul fan, I'm sad to see that record slip away. It's funny, 71 goals. Growing up as a kid, you're like, wow, nobody's ever going to beat that. That's amazing, greatest striker of all time. And lo and behold, Ronaldo and Messi just smashed it, and Lewandowski is almost there. And Lewandowski, by the way, is doing it in about 50 less games or so, which is crazy. This is the thing with Raul. He just, his goal scoring ratio was quite good, but everything's relative because now everything we know about being prolific has completely changed in the last 10, 20 years. So right. Raul has scored basically a goal every other game in the Champions League, which is pretty damn good, obviously. But so Benzema's right there too. So, and Benzema's going to get there, by the way, if he gets there, probably in less games than it took Raul to get there. So,
should get there, if Madrid are successful,
he should. Where I was going with this is just that I really think we have to reevaluate Benzema's place in history, and I think people who criticize him for goals have a right to criticize him for goals because I think there have been stages of his career where he's missing chances and he still misses those chances. But I think if you do a simple cost-benefit analysis, he's just done way more good than bad in his club career, and I think we really have to evaluate where he stands in club history.
I feel pretty much the same about Benzema. No matter his increase in numbers during the last few seasons or so, I mean, I have no issues with Benzema ever since probably his first season in the club, which was a little bit shaky. He had a rough time adapting to the club and all that. Apart from that, I think obviously his season in the double, in the La Liga and Copa del Rey double, I think it was 16-17, or was a little bit he underperformed a little bit that season, but he also scored twice against Bayern Munich in the semifinals. So and also that play against Atletico de Madrid in the quarterfinals as well. So I'm fairly confident saying that Benzema is quite probably the best striker Real Madrid have had. Center striker. I mean, obviously Raul was a different striker, maybe in this century. Right there, maybe ahead with Raul. Honestly, I mean, I know it's some kind of blasphemy to some people, but the numbers don't lie, as you mentioned, and Benzema's numbers are better than Raul or just very close to it. So Raul had this romanticism maybe because he was an academy player. He was the leader of that team, the leader of the Galacticos. He kept playing with the Galacticos and all that. But I don't think it's that blasphemous to say that Benzema has an argument to compete with Raul head-to-head for who was better in this century.
I think, well, it's interesting. Okay, I think with Raul, at his very peak, which basically ended by 2003 or so, but anywhere from 98 to 2002 he was awesome, and there was a period in 2001 where he really was the best striker in the world. And I would put Raul's ceiling in bigger games is higher. So if I'm picking a team to put in a Champions League final, Raul's there in the starting lineup. Probably over Benzema for sure. Anyway, but there's a case, to your point, is he the best striker that Real Madrid has had since Raul? Well, you also have to. He would have to leapfrog a couple great players. So you go. The chronological order is Ronaldo, OG Ronaldo, that is, who for about 3-4 seasons was single-handedly keeping Real Madrid in games in the dark era.
But for Madrid, Benzema has been better than Ronaldo. Madrid.
But I guess the question, for his career, yes, his career is ahead of Ronaldo. But in his peak season, does he trump, let's say, Ronaldo's 2003-2004 season?
I think so.
And then there's Van Nistelrooy, who, again, has no longevity in Real Madrid, but he had a great season under Capello, Pichichi Van Gogh, as we call them. Then we have to forget that Higuain had a season where he scored 27 goals. No. I'm just saying, in a one single season, Higuain in 2009 was an awesome goal scorer. I just think those are the players he has to leapfrog. So is he better than all of those? I think he's, from a career standpoint, yes, he is.
Exactly. That's my point. Maybe not at his peak. his peak is better than Higuain for sure, in my opinion. His
Okay.
peak is better than Van Nistelrooy, also in my opinion, even though I love Van Nistelrooy. And obviously, his peak is not better than Raúl and Ronaldo. But I think his career for Madrid might be better than Ronaldo's career for Madrid. I don't think it's blasphemous to think about this.
No, it's the truth. His career was better than Ronaldo's career. Some of that, I think, a little bit of his. With OG Ronaldo, I think he had a little bit of bad luck in that if we had a better team around him, I think his legacy would have been a little bit higher.
Right,
Because,
good coach. Mainly.
Yeah, a good coach, some continuity, some correct pieces around him. Like he came in 2003, and then he basically, the team was like, all right, so behind you, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take away the defensive midfielder. We're going to put in another right winger, and the team is going to be a mess. And by the way, and so you're not going to have many people feeding you the ball. Basically, we have Zidane. Figo is old now. And Zidane was pretty good up until the end of his career. Maybe lacked some consistency, but I just think like Benzema had a little bit of benefit of a better team around him, which
For sure.
Which I think if OG Ronaldo had that, I think his legacy would have been a little bit different. But that one is. But I do think Benzema had a better career than OG Ronaldo. And by the way, if we're talking about peak, I do think I only brought up those strikers' names only because these are the players we have to consider, right? But I do think at his peak, his peak did trump Van Nistelrooy's peak and also Higuain's peak.
Higuain for sure.
And the only one that stands in his way is OG Ronaldo. 2012 Benzema, it was a remarkable version of him because not only was he scoring buckets of goals, but he was also assisting like crazy. Like nobody out of that short list of players, OG Ronaldo, Higuain, Ruud, were able to play make the way Benzema did. I think OG Ronaldo had a couple seasons where his assist numbers were pretty damn good, but from a playmaking standpoint, he also brought that to the table. So modern football, it's going away a little bit from the traditional nine. Not entirely, they still exist. We still see Zlatan at the age of 39. Although Zlatan is technically gifted, he does drop deep. But you do still see players like Mauro Icardi and Lukaku and whatnot. Yeah. So they still exist. It's just that that kind of the way we think about that role has changed a little bit. So out of all of them, he had the best playmaking skills too. So I think so I guess the long-winded we went in a long-winded response to your question here, but I think the answer to your question of is Benzema the best Real Madrid striker since Raúl, the answer